Hey everyone, Dr. Ryan Wakim here in Pittsburgh. I wanted to talk today about the stress involved with a workplace now being your home and what that means for both employees and employers as we, take the stress that traditionally happens at the workplace and bring it into the home where there may be a whole other level of or variety of different stresses there. How to cope with that, how to handle that, how to manage that. As we look at transitioning the workplace into the home, one of the things that's important to note is the workplace, although stressful oftentimes, does provide for a avenue for coping, meaning that just the ability to talk to your coworkers, to be able to step outside of your workspace and engage with a conversation with someone. Maybe that's venting, water cooler talk or coffee pot talk. So just the environment of a workspace alone does lend itself some to actually helping to manage and help cope with some of the stresses, even that are involved at the workplace themselves. And again, as we transition into the home, there's obviously much less of that availability. The ability to just walk outside of your office and engage with a coworker about something you're maybe dealing with or something you may be happy about. And so one of the main things we know as employers and employees is that capability really doesn't exist and probably won't exist for quite a while into the future, or at least not the way it used to. When you couple this new paradigm with the statistics related to mental health out of the National Institute of Mental Health, meaning 1 in 5 employees, 1 in 5 people in the U.S. will struggle with a mental health condition at some point in their life. And when they don't have the avenue to let that out as they did before in society in general or at the workplace, there's a chance that could potentially get worse. The prevalence rates could rise over the next couple of months and years. It's our job now as leaders of companies, as small businesses, as employers, to make sure that we stress health and wellness to our employees and society as a whole. And there's a number of ways we can do that, some of which we've talked about before, some of which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. As we look at being leaders in a company or small business owners, the most important message we can convey to our employees is that of self-care. Self-care means physical health, making sure to carve out the appropriate time for exercise every day, or whatever time or regimen they prefer, stressing diet and wellness. But then more important than that is that we're stressing mental health care. Statistically speaking, if you're an employer or a company who focuses on having an open stance and a caring around mental health care, we know that statistically the culture is much better and people are much less likely to struggle long-term with mental health conditions or increased prevalence thereof. So as we look at what we can do today, that's super simple but so important, and that is to engage with our employees, stressing both physical health, but more importantly, stressing the importance of mental health and the care thereof. Some of the things we can do specifically around promoting physical or mental health are the ideas of providing structure. We've talked about that before, but certainty is so important. Just as it's important in the workplace, it's important at home too. And the more we can be very clear in our communication, have set goals, and set structure, even working from home, that goes a long way in helping to de-stress someone's personal environment. Other things we can do is we can promote different hours. Obviously, of being from home, there's a little bit more flexibility about when someone could work. So maybe there's individuals who would prefer to start later and end later, individuals who may want to work some weekends who, previously really didn't or couldn't. So being flexible with our employees and providing them that framework, but again, framework with flexibility can go a really long way in providing the certainty, structure, and therefore improved overall physical and mental health. One of the things we've done specifically is open up Zoom calls just for the team to get together when they can't get together in the office. And that's been really helpful. We know that communication and culture are king. And we want to try to strive to continue that even in these new normal, unprecedented times. If you're a leader or an owner of a small business and there's things you're doing, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to find out more. If we work together, we can come out with better outcomes in the long run. So if you have any questions or you're a leader and you have some great ideas, we'd love to push those as well. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope everyone has a blessed weekend.